Today, iconic film star Tony Curtis stars opposite Kirk Douglas in the 1958 epic adventure flick The Vikings, which airs from 1:40 p.m. on 5 Action. Based on the 1951 novel The Viking by Edison Marshall, Curtis also counts among the film's cast his then-wife Janet Leigh. It follows the story of Viking slave Eric, who ends up in a bitter dispute with enemy Einar, the ruthless warrior son of future leader Ragnar. But, due to the ties of both of their respective families, the two sparring Vikings end up closer to one another than they'd first expect. The film, which was shot in the idyllic locations of Morangerfjorden and Morangsnes, in Norway, was among the year's biggest cinema hits, earning a 76% approval rating on review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes. Among the critics hailing the film, which was the third most popular in 1958 Britain at the time, was the New York Times writer Bosley Crowther, who wrote, "The sight of those sleek Viking barges sweeping across the slate-grey seas, loaded with bearded, brawny oarsmen, is something exciting to see, particularly in the widescreen and color that are used very well in this film." Curtis' marriage to Leigh lasted some 11 years after they wedded in 1951. Throughout his life, Curtis would be romantically linked with some of Hollywood's biggest names, and by the time he died in 2010, he had been married 6 times. As well as Leigh, Curtis also wed Christine Kaufman, Leslie Allen, Andrea Savio, Lisa Deutsch, and Jill Vandenberg. And it was his final wife that saw the New York City-born star garner the most attention as a result of the huge age gap between them. According to a 2012 obituary by the New York Times, Curtis and Vandenberg met at a restaurant in 1993, and 5 years later got hitched. But as a result of the 45-year age gap, many questioned the relationship despite their affection. Curtis himself addressed the clamor over their marriage, noting that the age gap doesn't bother us because they laugh a lot when they're together. He added, "My body is functioning and everything is good. She's the sexiest woman I've ever known. We don't think about time. I don't use Viagra either. There are 50 ways to please your lover." Among the stars Curtis was linked with included Hollywood pin-up Marilyn Monroe, who he co-starred in the 1959 classic Some Like It Hot. Famously, Curtis once joked that kissing Monroe was like kissing Hitler, though in the years since the comment emerged he denied it. In a interview from 2001, Curtis said, "Everybody quotes me as saying that kissing Marilyn was like kissing Hitler. I never said that. I said kissing Marilyn was like FG her, the way she would grind against me." The star, who died in 2010 as a result of a cardiac arrest, also told the Daily Mail at the time that Monroe nearly choked me to death by deliberately sticking her tongue down my throat and into my windpipe. A relationship between the two was often reported on in the years after Monroe's sad death in 1962. It emerged in the interview when Curtis noted that he did more than kiss the actress, adding that they had a fling in 1949 when Monroe was new to Hollywood. In the build-up to Curtis' death, he made a heartbreaking confession to photographer Andy Gotts that he wasn't in a good way but wanted to ask one thing of his companion. He said, "Can you make me look like an icon just one more time?" After his passing, his daughter Jamie Lee Curtis, also an actress that conquered Hollywood, said, "My father leaves behind a legacy of great performances in movies and in his paintings and assemblages. He leaves behind children and their families who loved him and respected him, and a wife and in-laws who are devoted to him. He also leaves behind fans all over the world. He will be greatly missed. In the build-up to his death, Curtis reportedly rewrote his will, appearing to disinherit all of his children without reason, and leaving his entire estate to his wife. The revelation startled his family, including his second wife Christine Kaufman, who said that everything the children should have, Jill has. She added, "I do believe that deep down inside he was a nice Jewish father, and you know that nice Jewish fathers do not disinherit their children." Tony was on strong painkillers at the end, and they make you really stoned. The Vikings airs from 1:40 p.m. on 5 Action today.